not everything a Black woman does need to be a trend. The girl luxury trend is actually toxic and it's dividing women. And I know some of y'all are thinking like, oh my gosh, you know, I love Black women in luxury. I like when women post these type of things, but no, it's actually dividing us. A lot of women post their items. Being young is not an adequate excuse to make certain mistakes. Lingerie is not to be worn outside. Every brand does not have to be inclusive.
Don't wait on the thing that I wanna get nasty.
Your girl is back again with another video. If you to my channel, hey girl, hey. And if you're a returning subscriber, I don't even gotta say nothing because you know what's up, I know what's up, we know what's up, and that's on what? That's on period. And Murray had a little lamb. So last week I posted my very first unpopular opinions and the girls ate it up. Y'all really enjoyed that video. So today I'm back to do part 2. Like I mentioned in the last video, if you disagree with some of the things that I'm saying, let me know you disagree. If you agree, let me know you agree. If you have any of your own unpopular opinions, please comment them down below. But y'all just remember to keep it respectful. Really, really respectful. I'm not gonna disrespect you, so you know, give me the same respect. And if you don't, it's okay, baby, because that's why YouTube got resources. I'm gonna use my resources. Y'all know I'm heavy on the block button, okay? So keep it respectful. But y'all, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this video. So my very first unpopular opinion is it's okay to ghost people. And if you don't know what ghosting is, that's basically cutting somebody off, acting like they're dead to you or do not exist for no reason. Or if you have a reason but you just won't give them a reason, like you just cut them off. And part of me want to be like, we're older, you should be able to communicate how you feel and let people know why you don't mess with them anymore. And then part of me is just like, no, everybody don't deserve closure. Everybody don't deserve an explanation of why you cut them off or why you no longer want them in your life. So yeah, it's okay to ghost people. It's harsh, but I think ghosting is okay and it's acceptable. TikTok is the new Google, y'all. I don't even go on Google anymore. Anytime I want to find a restaurant or something to do, I go on TikTok. Like TikTok is literally the new Google. It's kind of surprising because TikTok is very toxic, but at the same time, TikTok is very informational. Lingerie is not to be worn outside, and I really didn't want to say this one just simply because sometimes I dress a little scandalous, but I had to say it. Like, it's become normalized. Like the shirts with the little nipple coverings, that's not appropriate. If you have to cover your nipples, then you probably shouldn't wear it outside. Lingerie is to be meant in the bedroom with you and your partner or whoever you're sleeping with. It's not supposed to be something that you wear to the mall or wear to Walmart. Like, when did lingerie become appropriate attire to wear outside? Influencers only show off their lifestyle just simply because it's a tax write-off. Before I became an influencer, and y'all, when I say influencer, I'm using it very lightly because I do not consider myself an influencer. Although somebody did just comment on my video and they said they bought a wig because of me. So, you know, I got just a little bit. I got a little bit of influence. But nonetheless, before I became a YouTuber, y'all, I used to think it was really, really weird and self-centered and just very materialistic how a lot of YouTubers or influencers, they would have like this whole case of like jewelry and hats and glasses and all these luxury items behind them. I thought that was just so weird, and I just thought that they were very self-absorbed. Like, why do you have shades? Why do you have tennis shoes on display? Like, I just thought it was, you know, I just thought it was weird. But now that I'm a YouTuber, I realize that they're not really self-centered or they're not really showing off. They're just using it as a tax write-off. And I like to think that most YouTubers that show items on YouTube, they're doing it for a write-off and not because they're self-centered or they're showing off. Supporting a brand just because it's Black owned is dumb. Like, you should never just support a brand just because it's Black owned or you just want to put money back into the Black community. I understand it. I used to do this all the time, but I realized anytime I did that, I was upset with myself. Like, I would be okay if I bought something from a brand and I genuinely liked the brand and I wanted to buy it and I received the item and it wasn't up to par or it was just poor quality. I would be okay with that. But I would be more upsetting if I did not want something and I only purchased it because it was a Black owned brand and the quality was poor and I only did it just to put money back into the Black community. And this one was inspired by, I was on somebody else's video and this girl commented. I'm gonna pull the comment up, y'all. I screenshot it, so I'm gonna pull it up. She basically made a comment and she was like, that's why I only support Black companies. Yes, you can be scammed by your own company, however, I trust us more. And it's just like, why do you trust us more? Because we're Black? But I digress, y'all. So she was like, because I would have paid someone the money they wanted to promote my brand. And it's just like, just because you're black and I'm black, that does not mean we're monolith. That does not mean that we think the same. You should never support a brand just because it's black. Or if you're Asian, don't support a brand just because you're Asian. Support the brand because you actually care about the brand and you like what they have to offer. Like, don't just buy something because it's black owned. And like I said, I have done this plenty of times in the past, and every time I do this, I'm upset. Just like when all the girls went and they wanted to support Wayda because they just love her and she's a black woman. You know, you wanna build your sister up. And they supported her first launch, the Wait a Minute launch, and they were disappointed and the quality was poor. And people were saying, oh my gosh, we paid all this money and it was poor quality and I really want to support you because you're sus and you're this. And it's just like, no, support her because you genuinely like her brand, you agree with her brand, not because she's black. Like, if that's the only reason why you're supporting a brand just because it's black, I just personally think it's dumb. Like, I'm sorry, I would rather support Kim K because I know my Skims is gonna be up to quality. Like, I know it's gonna be nice quality. I don't want to support somebody just because we share the same skin color. Women are comfortable showing their masculine energy because men emasculate themselves. I've been seeing this new trend called the soft life or the feminine trend or something along the lines of I want to be treated soft, I'm feminine. It's like a trend going on TikTok and Instagram, and it's on YouTube just a little bit. And anytime I see this trend, I'm just thinking like what started this trend? Like, why is this trend happening? And I realize it's because women are more comfortable now showing their masculine energy. Like, a lot of men have been saying, oh, I'm single because women are so masculine and women don't know how to be women anymore, and women aren't soft, women are submissive, women are this. And it's just like, we're not all of these things because y'all don't give us a space or y'all don't create an environment for us to be these things. So now women are, you know, we powerful, we speaking up, and we're in our masculine energy right now, including myself. If you broke, you shouldn't be dating. Dates cost money, experiences cost money. This goes for men and women. I'm not saying you're not worthy of love, but if you're broke, you should be focusing on getting your finances together and not looking for a mate. Being young is not an adequate excuse to make certain mistakes. Yesterday, I was watching Judge Mathis, and the plaintiff was on there saying her boyfriend cheated on her, and then the judge looked at her and was like, well, how old was he? And then she was like, oh, he was 21, and the judge was just like, oh, well, what did you expect? And it's just like, what the hell? Not to be cheated on. Like, being young shouldn't not be an appropriate excuse to cheat on somebody or to do anything. And I feel like it creates irresponsible adults and it enables us. I feel like we've all been in a situation when we were younger where they were just like, oh, well, you're young, it's okay. But I don't think that's okay. We should stop telling children it's okay or giving children a pass to do certain things just because they're young. Or if we're gonna give them a pass, I don't think we should vocalize it. We shouldn't be like, oh, it's okay, you got in trouble for doing this because you're young. Like, I'm not saying you should go to prison or you should be like penalized at a great level, but at the same time, we shouldn't just be telling them, oh, you're young, it's okay, you'll learn when you get older. And I know y'all might be like, oh, well, Asia, wisdom comes with age, and that is true. But I'm just saying, I don't think we should vocalize it and say, oh, you're young, so you get a pass for doing this and that. Like, no, because what happens when the adolescent is an adult? Like, you can no longer use that anymore. It's not an adequate excuse. It just enables children and young adults. But women are the prize. Everything a man does, like, man drive come from women. Men dress nice, men get jobs, men want to make a lot of money because they want to impress women. Whether that's a sister, a cousin, their wife, whoever, I feel like women are the prize. Men want to impress women, and it may be subconsciously. I'm not saying y'all are just going around and saying, hey, let me buy this Bugatti because I want to impress someone, but deep down, I feel like it all boils down to men wanting to impress women. The era's breakup with Ken elevated her life. The same with Queen and Chris. Their life elevated. Like, I feel like a lot of brands and companies and people learned about them through the breakup, and I feel like she wouldn't be where she was at today if they didn't break up. I feel like it was necessary, and her life just elevated. Like, she was already right here, don't get me wrong, but after the breakup, she went like, I feel like she went further because of the breakup. I feel like their breakup has a direct correlation with where she's at in life right now. Jayda said men don't respect women like they did in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, but I would have to disagree.
As far as a man literally worshiping the ground a woman walk on, it's kind of rare these days. We're running out of that. And it's kind of scary. in society today, and I don't know, I might piss a lot of people off talking about this, but this is just conversations I be having with my friends. But guys don't appreciate us and respect us how they used to do our aunties and grandmas and them back in the day. I don't know what it is.
I feel like these are the same men that our great-great-grandmothers had, that our mothers had. Like, who do y'all think Keisha Cole and Mary J. Blige and Kim, like, who y'all think was relating to these songs in the 90s or in the 80s? Like, y'all think they just made all this stuff up and no one was relating to these songs? No, I feel like your granddaddy, my granddaddy, your great-great-grandmother, they were just putting up with things differently. I don't feel like these are different men. I feel like these are the same men. The exact same man, literally. But the difference is our grandmothers and our mothers, they just hit it differently, and now we're just speaking out and saying, no, we're not going to tolerate the disrespect. But as far as these being different men with different morals and different standards, no, these are the same exact men. Your granddaddy was cheating and your grandmother was just accepting it. Like, now I feel like women are more vocal and we're speaking out more about being cheated on, and this information is more accessible. Like, before, when your grandmother got cheated on and your granddaddy gave her STD, we didn't have the internet to see. Like, we didn't know. Like, nowadays, people are getting caught up on TikTok and Facebook. You can literally DM the person that he's cheating on you with and be like, oh, what is that called? You can come at somebody as a woman. Now we have the ability to be like, are you messing with my man? Like, let me know now. You can send receipts. But then our grandmother, they didn't have the ability to get receipts, and they didn't have access to the internet like that. So your granddaddy could have been cheating on her in private for 20 years, but we live in different times now. Like, you know, y'all know what I'm trying to say. These are the same men, point blank, period. Y'all, I couldn't wait to say this one. Not everything a Black woman does need to be a trend. When Black women are embracing their femininity, it doesn't need to be a soft trend. When Black women are going on vacation, it doesn't need to be a luxury Black girl trend. Like, we're not a monolith. Like, everything a Black woman does, it does not need to be a trend. Why can't it just be us living our life? Why does it have to be a trend? The Black girl luxury trend is actually toxic and it's dividing women. And I know some of y'all are thinking like, oh my gosh, you know, I love Black women in luxury. I like when women post these type of things, but no, it's actually dividing us. A lot of women post their items and post their experiences just to say I'm better than you. And I know it sounds like, what? Like, why would you make that assumption? But you could just see it in captions. Like, when people go on vacation or people are able to afford to buy a Chanel bag or acquire any materialistic item, they're not saying, oh, I want you guys to be inspired and know if I can do it, you can do it. A lot of them are capturing these pictures and these videos and saying, 25,000 vacation, I wish we could, or y'all not living like this. Like, it's very competitive. I don't think it's promoting or normalizing Black women in luxury. I think it's toxic and it's actually dividing us. And a lot of these women are just doing it to say, I'm better than you. I can afford this Chanel bag, so I'm better than you. I can go to Bali, so I'm better than you. They're not posting these things for y'all to be inspired. However you view them, that's fine. I think that's perfectly fine for you to be inspired when you see these type of posts. But I don't believe that all of these posts are coming from a place of love. I was watching a video a few days ago and this girl was on there and she posted that she went to the Chanel store and she went to other stores as well, y'all. It was a lot of high-end brands at this mall that she went to, and then she titled the video Blackgirlluxury shopping. And then in the video she mentioned something about the lady kept following her around the Chanel store, and it's just like, Blackgirlluxury is supposed to be a trend that promotes elegance, and it's also supposed to promote Black women living comfortable. If you're posting a video saying Black girl luxury just because you're buying materialistic items, but also at the same time you're saying, oh, the lady followed you around the Chanel store, it's very paradox. Like, it's contradicting each other. Like, you're supposed to be able to shop comfortably without somebody following you around the store, and the fact that you weren't able to do that, it's no longer Black girl luxury. Like, y'all just title anything just to be in a trend or just to be in a hashtag, and a lot of times y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all just say, oh, Black girl luxury, I bought. No, Black girl luxury is not just about buying Chanel bags and buying Dior. And no, living comfortable, I feel like that's the main thing in the black girl luxury trend. And also, y'all are not changing anything. Black girl luxury is a systematic issue, and by y'all hashtagging things on Twitter, that's not doing anything for the community. Saying I'm grown does not equate to you being right. Like, that shouldn't be a valid excuse, because it's like, now I'm grown, what are you gonna say now? Like, I never liked when older people, or when my parents would be like, oh, I'm grown. Like, if the answer was something that they couldn't explain to me, they would just answer it with I'm grown, and that is not okay. So if you're a mom and you're watching this, please stop telling your children you're grown. That's not an acceptable answer to something, because eventually they're going to be grown, and it's just like, what have you taught them? You taught them because you're grown, you're allowed to disrespect people and not value people's opinions or emotions. Stop the I'm grown response. Just because you're sad a lot, that does not mean you're depressed. And I'm not talking about for the people that have been clinically diagnosed with depression. I'm talking about people that's just like, oh, I'm depressed, I'm going through a breakup, so I'm depressed. Or, oh, this happened. No, everybody is not depressed. Y'all just throwing around the word depressed. It's like every year there's a new word that y'all just overuse for no reason. Like, people are really dealing with things, and y'all just be like, oh, I'm depressed. Oh, I've been sad for 2 days, 3 days, or maybe 5 days, and y'all like, oh, I'm depressed. Why are y'all using the word depressed so much? It shouldn't be taken lightly. Every brand doesn't have to be inclusive. And when I say inclusive, I'm not talking about makeup shades. I don't care if you're as dark as 12:32 midnight, you definitely should have a shade. Or if you're as white as paper, you should have a shade. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about certain brands that market towards certain demographics. Like, for example, if, who was I watching? I was watching a video about this girl talking about, what's Rihanna brand? Not Fenty, but what is the brand? I don't know why I can't think of the brand. Oh, Savage X Fenty, y'all. She was talking about Savage X Fenty, and I'm gonna include it in this video. And she was on their website, and she was just like, oh my gosh, Rihanna has fat phobia, and Savage is not for plus size women. They put all the plus size women at the bottom of the page, and they low-key do not like dark skinned women, or they do not like fat women. It's just like, why would you want to be included in a brand that does not like you or is not made for you? Like, I think it's okay for all brands to not be inclusive. I'm not saying that Savage X Fenty is not inclusive, because personally I think it is inclusive. But for people that feel like certain brands are not for them, why would you want to buy from them? Like, if you feel like the CEO or the owner of that brand is fat phobia, or they don't like black people, why would you want to give them your money?
I want to talk about performative inclusion, specifically around like fat phobia and colorism. So fat folks have been complaining about Rihanna's line not being fully inclusive of fat people. And so Rihanna's last Savage show, she showcased a whole lot of bodies on what people would say would be diverse or inclusive. And I was not satisfied, because it felt like it was quite literally a performance of those bodies, so that there was no critique made. So we see here, this is Savage Fenty, you know, minding my business. I'm minding my business. And this ad comes up, okay? And here's a smaller body person with perky titties. Okay, cool. So we go on the website, there's 50% off. The first bodies that I see are light-skinned, smaller body people. All of these people are, we got the brown skins at the bottom, okay? Light skin priority, and then we got the larger ish body. This is still a small body person, but smaller body person, and they're at the bottom. The brown people are at the bottom. This is on a site that is led by a black woman who has a fat best friend, and here it is. No one even the size of her best friend is here on the site, which means that I know within the first couple seconds of clicking on this that Savage Fenty is not created for my fat ass, black ass body, right? That I am not sexy enough to be a savage, that my body is too big to be included in Rihanna's clothing line, okay? But then I continue to scroll, and here's some more bodies. They're all smaller bodies. These are like light-skinned people, smaller. So here, these are all, I want you to know that all of these were opportunities to showcase fat, marginalized, trans, you know, queer bodies. These were all opportunities to do so. And you can't, some of those things you can't tell by looking. I'm just clarifying that these are all opportunities to showcase those bodies. And here it is yet again. So far we've seen 2, 4, 6. Here's another 3. So this is 9 images, all of which do not showcase one fat body. one deep dark skin body.
Y'all, this one literally kills me, because then when they do include y'all be like, oh, they're just pandering, they don't really like people of color, they don't really like fat people, and then it's just like, if they don't really like y'all, why would you want to go give them your money? This is another thing, when brands are prejudiced and they exclude Black people out of certain things. I understand you should speak up about it, but if Gucci is marketed towards white people, I'm not saying that it is, but if a certain brand is marketed towards a certain demographic and you feel like that's not you, why would you want to give them your money? Like, if I'm fat and I feel like a brand is not made for fat people, I'm not gonna go run and give them my money. Like, they don't even like you. They didn't create these items for you, so why would you give them your money?